What's up? This is Patrick of Radicards.com, and in this video, we're going to be talking about my top 10 Frank Thomas pickups of 2021. So to start this list off, we're going to talk about honorable mentions of 2021. So these are 3 cards that I thought were interesting, but I don't think were interesting enough to really make the top 10 list. So let's jump right into it here. First card on the list is the 2001 Upper Deck MVP Authentic Griffey with Ken Griffey Jr. and Frank Thomas, serial numbered conveniently 35, which is Frank Thomas's jersey number out of 100. I'd wanted this card for a while. I've missed a couple bins over the years for this item, and it wasn't super high on my priority list, but it's an early enough card that I'd kind of skipped up on it for so long. I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to add if I can get one. It's a Griffey. Obviously, he's got a market too, so this card captures 2 different target audiences. Anyway, I saw this as a bin, and I just grabbed it. This was kind of, I guess, sort of a mid-year purchase, and I was excited to get it. And, just the 35 out of 100 serial number is just kind of a cherry on the top. I don't really go after the 35 to 100s. I have a friend who does, and I usually just forward him the links to those auctions because I don't really care one way or another what the serial number is. If I need the card, great. I have this orientation like this as a formality on my museum. So no matter if it's horizontal or vertical, like portrait or landscape, they get the same scan orientation. So a little sideways action there, but you can tilt your head a little bit and see what that card looks like. So this is a cool one. I like this card. Double swatch of the two players that I collected ardently in the 90s. I always collected Frank Thomas a little bit more, but I collected both players among everybody else I filed. These were the 2 guys I collected in the 90s. So really nice to grab this somewhat early Reds Griffey card. This is the second year on the Reds. So there you have it. This is the 2001 Upper Deck MVP Authentic Griffey, per run to 100 with Ken Griffey Jr. and Frank Thomas. Number 2 on the list, this is the 2005 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor, number to 50. So I've seen this card 1 or 2 other times before I got this card, and the time before this I saw it. In fact, it was this exact card, 11 out of 50. It sold, and it sold for this obnoxiously high price. I was like, that seems really odd that it would be that high. And then some months passed, and that same exact example surfaced, and I won it for half the price of the listing, the auction prior. So I thought that was somewhat interesting. This one to me wouldn't normally fit even in the honorable mentions because it's just this, kind of random refractor from the mid 2000s, but it is a gold refractor. It's a great image of Frank Thomas. It's a somewhat difficult parallel to get. I don't see the golds of this very often. This was a nice ad for the year. It's a great set. I really like 2005. If you're unfamiliar, 2005 is the first year of superfractors. It's kind of a fun little fact there for you. So this is a cool one. This is 2005 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor, number to 50. Okay, normally I wouldn't put in a post-career, current year thing, but this set is so rad. I just really dig what Topps does with their Bowman national convention promos. I was able to get the 3 to 5 of the red refractor, red hollow foil thing. This one's the 2021 Bowman National Convention Rapper Redemption Red Refractor, number to 5. This is a great image of Frank Thomas. I've seen similar images on other Thomas cards in the 90s. This one kind of reminds me of the image on the 1999 Fleer Brilliance card. Similar pose. So when I saw this, I was like, man, that'd be great to get. I was halfway through the year and I hadn't yet added a 2021 Frank Thomas card. It was July. I was like, I got to get something. So this one, I think, was the first 2021 card, or it was the one of 3 different cards I got around the same time. They're all numbered to 5. And so I was like, finally, I got a 2021 card. I can start the 2021 gallery. So I chose not to go to the National this year because I intended on putting my funds that I would have otherwise spent at the National into my company to launch a new product. So that'll come in Q1 of 2022, pending any supply chain delays, whatever. But yeah, this is a great set. I saw the 1 of 1 of this, and it has an interesting pattern I hadn't seen before on these cards. And my bid on that card wasn't anywhere near what it should have been to get the card, but it ended up resurfacing and it sold. And fortunately, I didn't get it, but happy to get the 5 red refractor. These cards they look amazing. They're just beautiful, beautiful cards. So there you have it. 2021 Bowman National Convention Rapper Redemption red refractor to 5. So this year I was able to add some really, really hard cards, like mythic rare unicorn type stuff that I hadn't seen since forever ago. Like one card we'll talk about is I hadn't seen an appearance of it since like the second week of August 2010. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'd waited 11 years to see another one. So we'll talk about that and a bunch of other really great cards. So let's jump right into it here. First one on the list is a PSA 9 example of the 1991 Topps Desert Shield. Very tough card to get for obvious reasons, just because of its back history, how they were released. So Topps made this product to be sent to troops who were armed forces in Desert Storm in 1991. And a lot of this stuff was used for like target practice and thrown out and used for heat, and like they were burned. And some of the stuff ended up back in the States. It was brought back. And so finding this stuff is hard, but finding it in high grade is even harder. So, and an example to get the 9 from a gentleman, a fellow Thomas collector who was selling off his collection. I was really happy to grab it because I'd always wanted a nice, clean PSA high grade. I don't need a 10. Like I'm happy with the 9. It's a good looking card. Classic shot of Frank Thomas, the same image used on the 91 Stadium Club, but he's swinging through on that card, whereas this is like the start of that. At least that's always been my understanding because the background's the same. Awesome stuff. Really glad to have this. I have a few of these. I have like a couple of raw ones, and I've had a graded one from another random grading company I got years ago. So anyway, when I had the opportunity to get this 9, the price was just made sense, so I grabbed it. Really glad to get this. I love this card. Early stuff, 91. So there you have it. This is the 1991 Topps Desert Shield PSA 9. Next on the list is a 2004 Leaf Certified Materials Mirror Bat Emerald to 5. So this is like a random relic card, but it's a piece of a puzzle I've been working on for a long time, like a lot of years. This is like probably as far as I'm going to get into the parallel run for 2004 Leaf Certified Materials. The remaining cards are all 1-of-1s, so I don't expect to see any of them. So this is like the last one that wasn't a 1-of-1 that I needed. And it was expensive. Like I had to pay a lot to get this card. Surprisingly, I was surprised I had to pay as much as I did. No autograph. But there were a lot of people who wanted it. I just wanted it more. So I got this finally. And I have a blog post where I break down the whole list. You can see it all there if you go to radicards.com and search 2004 Leaf Certified Materials in the search bar. You can find it there. The whole run of, you can see like all images, everything. It's all there. It's really cool. So I was glad to get this finally. So it's a tough card to find. Only one I've seen. So 1 of 5. Just, you don't see this stuff too often. I never opened any of this. I was back in the hobby in 04, but I wasn't really opening hobby packs. I was like going to Target and getting retail stuff, and that was a lot of fun. At least in 2003, I kind of stopped after 2003, but that's another story. Anyway, this is the last one I needed that's not a 1-of-1 for 2004 Leaf Certified Materials. So you have it. This is 2004 Leaf Certified Materials Mirror Bat Emerald to 5. All right, so this is an interesting one. This is 2002 Topps Pristine Gold Refractor to 70. Okay, so here's the thing with this card. What a weird year. This card was listed on eBay for a while as there was like a slabbed one, like a BGS high grade or a PSA. I don't remember. It was graded by either BGS or PSA, and it was sat on eBay for a long time because the bin price was just really high. I knew the sellers. I didn't want to bother them with hey, would you entertain an offer? I just was like, well, there's 70 of them. I should be able to see another one. And a couple of years passed and this one surfaced, and I was like, okay, I'll get this one. And I had to fight pretty hard to get this, and I won it. And I was super excited. And then a couple months passed, and there was another one that was listed, and then a couple more months passed, and another one was listed. One sold for under $30. And I'm like, oh, what can you do? You can't predict what's going to happen in the future. But I was just glad to finally get this card because it was the last one I needed for Topps Pristine from the 2002 block. I just really like these cards because of the refractor finish, the decal edge, and the excellent action shot and portrait shot of Frank Thomas. So I was really glad to finally knock this off the checklist, despite the various other examples that came and went after I bought mine. So funny. So there you have it. This is the 2002 Topps Pristine Gold Refractor, number to 70. All right, next one on the list. This is a 2003 SPX Spectrum to 35. Very tough card. So before I got this one, years back, I'd seen one. I think Burbank had one listed for a long time, and it finally sold. And then I didn't see another one for until this one surfaced. And years had passed between the two instances. I was like, man, I got to get that card. I should have just bought it when it was listed. Well, finally grabbed this one, and it wasn't cheap. So this was the last one I needed from 2003 SPX, or at least the base parallels anyway. A lot of this stuff gets kind of confusing with like the various jersey and relic stuff that was made during the like 2000s block. But this was the parallel that I was looking for to finish off the base run. Really glad to get it. It's a great card. Love that hollow foil finish on there. It really pops off the card like that. So I was really glad to get this. Finally, can knock this one off the list. So this is 2003 SPX Spectrum, number to 35. Okay, so this one's really tough. This is 2002 Upper Deck 40-man Electric Rainbow Replacement, so it's hand serial number to 40. So one gentleman, Thomas Collector, was selling off some of his post-2001 stuff, and this listed, and I was like, well, I got to get that. I ended up winning it, and I was happy to grab it. I've seen a lot of replacements for 40-man Electric Rainbows over the years from various players, a lot of them. In fact, if you go on eBay now, you can probably find a bunch of them from various players. Glad to get this. I love these Electric Rainbow cards. They're awesome. They look good when they're scanned. That, like I said, the hollow foil finish on there. Really great stuff. Tough to get. These Electric Rainbows they're hard finds. I'll just put it that way. They're just hard to find. But glad to get this. Great images of Frank Thomas, front and back. Obviously same image, but love the stuff. So this is cool. So there you have it. This is the 2002 Upper Deck 40-man card number 393 Electric Rainbow to 40 replacement. Okay, this one's a monster. And you know, it's funny. I remember when this product came out, 2013 Pinnacle. It's a good product. I liked it. I didn't open any packs or anything. I just thought that the inserts were awesome. So this is 2013 Pinnacle Clear Vision Hitting Home Run. So when this product first came out, they didn't include the word hitting in the cards depicting hitters. And they didn't include the word pitching in the cards depicting pitchers. But they have since corrected, when I say they, I'm like the reputable checklist sources. They've since corrected that and included those words in the associated cards titles. So I had to go back and like rename the various parallels. There's like a single, double, triple, and then there's the home run. And then there's like a one of one thing. Like I think it's like the cycle or something. But I had never seen this home run parallel before, and I haven't seen one since. But interesting story about this card when it was listed initially. The seller, I guess, wasn't happy with the closing price, so he pulled it like within seconds of its closing and relisted it for like almost 3 times the value. And I was like, fine. And so I had to bid for it again, and I ended up winning it, but it wasn't cheap. It was an expensive card for the year, but it was just hard cards to find. This home run parallels. They're just very, very rare. So I was really glad to get this Frank Thomas into the archive. It's just an extremely difficult parallel to find. I don't know what the print run on them is. It's not stated anywhere. It's not known, but very, very difficult cards to find. You know, I kind of take it as like in the 90s, you had like the single, double, triple home runs, or like the single, double, triple, quadruple. And like the quadruple was always the hardest one to get. I would probably equate this to maybe the triple, but at the same time, it's more like the quadruple, and then there's like a fifth one, like a quintuple, which would be like the cycle version. But so it'd be as hard as, say, the quadruple. I hope that makes sense. And the quadruple in the 90s always like the serial number to 10 or whatever. But I just like this stuff. It's really cool, and I like that they use different colors. There's like a blue, a red, purple background, and there's one that has a green background. I've never seen a cycle, but I'm sure it's a different color. So kind of a cool thing. Anyway, this is 2013 Pinnacle Clear Vision Hitting Home Run. Okay, super tough card that I've missed out on for years before I finally got one. This is 1998 Donruss Collections Prized Collections Preferred card number 552. The print run on these are to 55. The Donruss Preferreds have the print run to 55 when you're looking at the prized examples. Very, very hard card to get and expensive. It's just an expensive card. They've always been expensive because people picked up on the fact that the print run is so low on the preferred examples. Yeah, so this is another one of those cards that like I had missed for so long, for so many years, or like, oh, check this bin, and I go to it and it's sold, or like, yeah, someone sends me a link, check this out, and it's sold. This happened to me last year with a card. Like I finally got after this same set of circumstances. This one has a refractor line, whatever, I don't care. Like it fulfills the need. So I'm not going to make a fuss out of a refractor line for such a rare card. It's like that situation where it's a 1 of 1, but it's a PSA 6. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be upset about it and wait for another 1 of 1. You can't because it's the only one in existence. Or you can just accept the fact that it's not a perfect card. That's okay. It fulfills the whole. Like it's a check. I can check off this card now on the checklist. And so happy to have this despite the refractor line on it. I don't really care, quite frankly. It's like the serial number thing. Like I don't care that's the first and last and jersey number. I don't care. It's not, you can't sell me on that. I won't matter to me. I don't care. But this is cool. I like this card a lot. I love the images of Frank Thomas. He has just such good photogenic value on his baseball cards. And I think that this is a great shot of him. The set is awesome. I love prize collection stuff, that refractor finish with those classic remakes of the various Donruss products that came down the pipeline in 98. Leaf 2 actually is like DLP thing. So really glad to finally check this off the box. What a banner year to get this too. I've been wanting this card for a long time, like a long time. So really glad to get the 1998 Donruss Collections, Prize Collections Preferred card 552 with this print run of 55. Oh my gosh, so this is the card that I hadn't seen since second week of August 2010. I was sitting at a coffee shop and one surfaced, and I think it closed around $50, and I just didn't have it. I didn't have the money at the time. I wasn't like as advanced into eBay buying as I am now. And so I was buying other things. The guy listed a bunch of other pieces, and this card was one of them. And I picked up, I think, 1 or 2 other items. I think it was like a superscript and some other stuff. And I was able to get those pieces. But this one sold, and I didn't get it. And so here I had to wait 11 years to see another one. This is the 1999 Upper Deck Wonder Years Triple with a print run of 50. Just a nightmare of a card to get. Extremely difficult card. You know, this set is really beautiful, but if you don't check the serial number on the back, you might mistake like some of the parallels for each other. And there's subtle color differences among the parallels too with those stripes, except when you get to the 1 of 1, then it's quite a bit easier to identify because the colors are significantly different. I remember I was sitting in my car in the parking lot of the skate park, and I was about to have a session, and I was hovering over my phone on this auction. I was like, well, let's see if I can get this. Yeah, I get it. And I placed a big bid, and I won it. And I was like super excited. And I went skating, and I shredded for like an hour, 2 hours or whatever, and came home. And then I was like super happy. I finally got this Wonder Years Triple. It's not in perfect condition. As you can see, the top edge of the back is like dirty, but whatever. Like I said, it checks it off. Like I don't have to worry about it again. It fulfills the need of the card. You know, sometimes with rare stuff, you just have to be lenient on condition flaws and be okay with them. Embrace them. Be like, this is just a card. It's had some life. You know, it's now in my collection to be saved and enjoyed forever. So really glad to finally knock this out. This is the 1999 Upper Deck Wonder Years Triple to 50. That's a massive unicorn. All right, so super tough card. This is the 2004 Bowman Sterling Bat Black Refractor to 16. Seller had 2 of these. Here, this one here, which this is the raw example, right? This is the uncirculated raw, and then he had a slab like BGS 9.5 or something. He wanted like massive money for it. I was like, well, I don't need the BGS one. In fact, I'd prefer to have the raw uncirculated because it's easier for me to store. So got this. Glad to get it finally. Like this is one of those cards that it's rare, but you don't really put it on your top 10 list because you don't expect to ever see it because the print run is so low. And so when it came through, I was like, let me double check to make sure I don't have that. I don't think I do, but I just double checked. So I checked my museum. Sure enough, didn't have it. I had the base and the refractor. Black refractor, number to 16. Like, when am I going to see this again? It's such a super rare card. You can't even fill 2 pocket pages with the whole print run of this card. That's kind of a lot to say. You might remember back in 91 when the arena holograms came out and they were limited edition to 250,000. It's that's a lot. 250K, $250,000, limited edition to $250,000. So this one's limited edition to 16, which is awesome. This is a great card, by the way. I remember getting in 2004 the like base or the refractor, and I think maybe both at the same time. They were like some of my first relic cards for Frank Thomas. And back then I used to like file the relic cards in thick top loaders and put them in a separate place in my collection. I don't do that anymore. Everything's together, but the like base and refractor were some of my first Frank Thomas relic cards. I just thought they were kind of cool. But I like the image here. I like that little circle in the front that showcases the bat chunk. That the circle around it's got a refractor to it. It's kind of a cool thing. I think it's just a good looking card. So anyway, this is the 2004 Bowman Sterling Bat Black Refractor, number 16. Last one on the list is kind of a mouthful. This is the 2005 Topps Pristine Personal Pieces Common Relics Uncirculated to 3. We get to a place in collecting where there are certain items on your checklist that you don't even consider putting on your most wanted list because you just never anticipate ever seeing, ever. And so they're not even in the thought process for, I got to find that card. Is it 1 of 1, 1 of 2, 1 of 3, whatever. Typically for me, a lot of those cards are like print run 50, 55, 75, 100, that kind of thing, 150. But to 3, like it may as well be a 1 of 1. Like when am I going to see print run 1 of 3 and 2 of 3? I don't think I ever will. Honestly, I'm not convinced of it. I was surprised that I even see 1 of the 3 hit auction. And, this is a card that's got a like landscape orientation. So, I hear it lands in the like final piece of my list for 2021. And it is the most significant in terms of print run. It is the most significant in terms of rarity. Is it the most significant in terms of desirability? No, because I never thought I'd ever see it. So I hadn't been thinking about it all the time. It hadn't invaded my mind, like say the prized collection preferred or the Wonder Years triple. Those pieces invaded my mind for years. Wonder Years triple invaded my mind for over a decade, 11 years. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever see it. I don't know if I'll ever see it. Like I missed it in 2010. I'm never going to see it. The preferred I had access to many times, but it wasn't fast enough to get it, or it was too expensive, or I didn't, whatever. But this particular card from 2005 Topps Pristine has a print run of 3. It's uncirculated. And it's just like, there are certain times where you have to just like stand in awe of the stuff that you come across in your collection and be like, I can't believe I got one of these. It's such a big card. And it was never on my most wanted list. Should it have been? Well, that's up for debate. There are many other cards I still need, and I haven't seen since, whenever. I've never seen. But this is one of those cards where I came across after the, endless forever searches I run on eBay all the time. And I'm like, man, I didn't even know what it looked like because I'd never seen any of these, like the uncirculated versions of this card. It's not that interesting of a card. It's got, a little swatch on the front with a pinstripe in it. It's a great looking card. But it's just not a card that I would like go after, like call my friends back, hey, do you have this? It's the 3. It's such a low print run thing. This is of paramount significance, this card, because of its print run. Yeah, it's not a tattoo, but it's the next best thing. I got this into my collection and I had never seen it. I'd had the base, the non-uncirculated, for many years. It's been on the museum for a long time. Not an interesting card. The difference between this one and that one is it doesn't have the hollow foil on the front, but the print run on that one is like significant, like hundreds. And so this one, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, when am I ever going to see this again? I have to fight hard for this one. And typically, for modern stuff, I see 1 of 1s all day long, and post-career stuff every day of the week. You can go online, type in Frank Thomas 1 of 1, and there's like a carnival of different options to go after, autographs and relics and yada, yada, yada. And I don't go after really any of it, but this one spoke to me because it was still in his playing years. Toward the end of his career, but he still had some years left before he hung it up. And it's an uncirculated card. And it's just one of those, like, you stumble on it, you didn't realize it existed, and you see it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to see this again. I should try to get it into my collection. So, such a special card. Like I said, not that interesting, but very special. In terms of what's on this top 10 list, it is the rarest of the batch. So there you have it. This is the 2005 Topps Pristine Personal Pieces Common Relics Uncirculated to 3. So that's my list of top 10 Frank Thomas cards I grabbed this year in 2021. I hope you enjoyed that list. Let me know what you think. If you liked one of them or a couple of them, tell me which one's your favorite. Maybe something I talked about spoke to you a little bit. You want to share your thoughts in the comments area? I'd love to hear it. Thanks for tuning into Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Reno, and until next time, enjoy collecting. If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.